Today we are going to record some drums. Let's go. Alright guys, so this video is going to take you through the process that I use to record drums. Everything from setting up, which my drums are kind of in a pile over there in the corner, covered up. I don't have them set up all the time. So we speed through that a little bit with some music that I've done, and then at the end I got a little clip of putting it all together in Studio One and a couple different flavors of the mics that I use. So without further ado, let's get into putting the drums together. See you in a few. Okay, so I don't know where the film stopped in there. I wasn't really paying attention, but I got it set up, and I got the mic set up. They're not measured. I don't have anything checked, but it's up and ready to record. Not too bad. 25 minutes. Okay, guys. So this is the drum set I use. It's a cheap PDP set I paid $200, $250 for. It was in great shape. Cymbals sucked. These aren't much better. I just got some cheap cymbals because I am not a drummer. I don't want to spend a fortune on this stuff. But I started with 2 mics with my old interface. And now with my new interface, I'm able to have up to 8 mics on here if I want. So this is the newest edition. This is a stereo pair of the Samson CO2s. So I'm using those for overheads. I have a Shure SM57 on the snare. And I have inside, pointed at the beater, an SM57 clone. It's a Stag. It's a good mic. Really cheap. And on the outside, I have the Lewitt 240. And this is what you're going to be hearing on... I don't know what clip it is. I have a song where I recorded this with the old overheads and then new overheads and an external bass mic. So you'll hear that in the audio clips that I recorded. I think I have some video too. But this is what I use to record on this music stand. I usually put my keyboard and my mouse so I can negotiate Studio One. And I have a little headphone amp over here that I bring over so I don't have to... I can control my headphone volume from there if I want to, which is really nice. And yeah, so this is the drum setup. And so you'll hear this on the upcoming clips that I made. All right. So I have a session here open in Studio One. As you can see, I have kick, snare, overhead left, overhead right, a guitar DI, bass DI, a couple more guitars recorded, and then I have another set of drums here: kick in, kick out, snare, overhead left, and overhead right. I have this first set here, bus to this bus, and these go into a separate bus so I can toggle back and forth, and you can hear the difference between the two. So what I'm going to do to make this easier, I'm just going to hide these guitar and bass tracks to make it a little easier. And also I have some processing on this first set. So now it's an even game. We can listen to both. So this is the first set of drums. This is on the kick. I have a Stag 57, which is an SM 57 clone. The snare, I have a real SM57. Overhead left is this Presonus M1 condenser, and the overhead right was my Lewitt 240 Pro. So let's listen to how that sounded. It's not too bad, it's okay in the mix. I'm going to turn on the processing. So this was with some processing. I usually use a little bit of EQ and a little bit of compression. I try not to do too much. So I'm going to turn those off again so we can get a good A and B. So that's the first set. Now there's no drums. And here's the second set. And again, there is no processing on these. So the kick in is the Stag 57. The kick out is the Lewitt 240. The snare is still the SM57. And for my overheads, I got a pair of Samson CO2 stereo condenser mics. And you can really hear the difference in there. This group here just sounds a little more punchy, a little clearer. I'm going to turn the inserts on now for that first set, and you can see the difference. So I think if I did a little processing on this second group here, I can get it to sound really good, but I prefer this one. So I did change the location of the mics a little bit. The snare, I changed the angle and the distance that it was. And again, two nicer overheads. And I don't think it came out too bad. For 4 mics, 5 mics on this one sounds pretty good. So that's with everything. You can see everything here. This is usually how I record. That's the first set with processing. Second set, no processing, just straight mics. pretty cool. Okay, guys, that was just a little taste of some recording with drums. I'm going to try to get some more of these videos up with the process I use to record. I've got some new gear here that makes everything a little bit easier. So at some point we'll go over that, but I hope you enjoyed this little peek into some drum recording, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace.